So right now in the world, most organizations are experimenting with AI, and the question comes down to how do you move out of the experimentation phase into a full scale phase? In fact, I think there are some studies out there that show that 70% of organizations are experimenting, but less than 10% are truly rolling out in a production scale perspective. And that path actually follows a basic blocking and tackling approach for doing it. So first, I always tell people when you're evaluating an AI use case, the first thing you want to do is define your success criteria. What does it mean to successfully implement this particular use case? Because AI is not free and it's not cheap. And you want to make sure that it's going to move the needle strategically for the organization. And that needs to tie back to a meaningful business KPI. So from there, you need to build your solution or implement your solution, and you need to pilot that solution. And that pilot phase is super, super important because things that you learn during the pilot phase will affect governance, it'll affect security, and it will tell you in a more real world setting if you will actually achieve the KPIs that you are looking for. Once you've sort of met your objectives for a pilot phase, you're then going to want to do a phased rollout perspective. And with that phased rollout, you're going to add in additional user training. You're probably going to add and beef up security, but you always need to monitor the outcomes of your solution in order to make sure that it's meeting your objectives on an ongoing basis. And through that phased rollout, you will achieve that production scale that you're looking for. And so that basic blocking and tackling approach that you might use for other technologies is super important in the AI space, but the one that people forget about the most and the one that I would encourage everyone to pay attention to is monitor those outcomes. Because if you're not getting the outcomes that you're looking for from a real world perspective, you should either tweak the model or abandon the solution that you're doing and move on to something else that's going to be more meaningful for your business. Otherwise, you're going to see your operating costs balloon with no return on that investment. That would be my recommendation for how do you get from experimentation to production scale.